Hello, 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 hello. What's going on, Vet Stock? Thank you for being here this afternoon. Again, another show, another program, another Wednesday where we sit down and talk with a veteran and share our knowledge, share our, our history, our experiences, and hopefully somebody will get something out of it. The purpose of Vet Talk is for us to communicate with one another as veterans and basically try to understand the experience, the stuff we've been through, and the stuff we're going through, and how to navigate this beautiful thing you call life. Also, we also put Vet Stock available to every veterans organization that's out there that are providing services to the veterans community that are doing an excellent job. But sometimes, a lot of people are not aware those things exist, and because of that, we create this platform so we can help those on the circle, those on who know who we are, where they can come and listen and get the information, and where they can share that information themselves with their community, or maybe find something helpful with it. Now, a lot of things, there's a thing people don't know. The military have people from different background. We are from all over the world. But because of that background, because of different things we do, when we leave, we exit and we all go back to our community where we came from. And sometimes those communities where we go back to does not have like a base or any big military community around to help maybe the family members or that veteran himself or herself. So this is the reason why we created this platform where we try the best we can to reach as many people as we can and to talk and communicate with one another. Today we want to talk about resilience. Uh, it's it's something was important to me because for where I came from, for what I've been to, and how I manage it, how I navigate, and transform my life from nothing to something. And while I was thinking about, man, who will be a great guest to be on Vet to talk to us about resilience? And I remember, you know, when I was I remember when I was in Mayport, and I was a chief in Mayport and leading a dental department. And sometimes things were difficult. It was stressful, and there was a lot of misunderstanding. It was difficult, but there was one person in that department who always smiled, who always said, "It's going to be better." No matter what was going on, it's like there was nothing who can phase her. So this is why today, Vetstock, I'm introducing you to Captain Cureton, Captain Retired Cureton. She's gonna spend some time with us today to let us know who she is, where she's from, and oh, the best part too, she is Haitian American. Again, another Haitian American on Vetstock. That's my second one. I'm not counting, but so far it's getting better. Captain, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for thinking of me. Thank you for having me on the show. It is truly a privilege to share. When you called me and told me you wanted me to do that, I was pretty excited about it,
I appreciate
and
it.
maybe a little nervous because this is kind of like my first time doing something like that. But I had the support of my children who kind of guide me through this. So I'm excited. I'm
Of
excited about
course. It's a
today.
first for everything. Again,
There
great
you
subject
go.
today.
Yes.
Resilience, so it's a first for everything. And I think you're gonna do good because you're probably gonna like it. You're probably gonna do more podcasts, right? Because I know you have a lot to say.
Actually, that's what my daughter told me. I think you should start your own podcast.
I think you should because you very inspiring, and you very like you positive, you know how to talk to people, you know how to advise people, and besides you've been doing this for a long time. Yeah, I might not be on a podcast, but you've been guiding young people, sailors, and I mean for a long time. Why not? You should do a podcast.
Yes, yes, yes.
You should go for it. I
Well, I'll think about it.
Okay, you should think about it. Well, Captain, I appreciate you taking the time to be here with us today. And I know it's difficult. I know it's time consuming. I know you're very busy, and listen, I I'm very thankful for you being here. And
Well,
anybody who's under the live, please say hello. Let us know where you are. Let us know where you're watching. And that way we can say hello back to you. If you have questions, if you have comments, please let us know. You can type them and we'll bring the comments to the screen like this right here. Let's bring this comment right here. I think, Captain, you know who this is.
that's my champion. He's doing
That's
good.
your champion.
Yeah.
Good. So just like that, and I think we can bring the comments to the screen, so we can say hello to you, so we can see how you're doing and share what we're sharing with you as well. Okay, Captain, tell us your story. Tell us who you are, your background, and for those of because let me say this too, I'm also on the Ouvri Barrier platform, which is a Creole platform that we created to help or the Haitian community. So we on that platform as well. So for those of you who's under the Ouvri Barrier platform, I'm sorry if we're doing this in English because it's a Vet Talk show, so it's done in English. So hopefully, Captain can come back and go strictly to the Ouvri Barrier platform, and we can do one in Creole. But for today, it's a Vet Talk show,
Maybe.
so it's
Okay.
it's in English. So, Captain, tell us who you are, your background, your story, and share with us.
Well, once again, thank you so much for having me. A little bit about myself. I was born in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, and my brothers and I have two brothers and sister. We migrated to the U.S. back in the 70s. Um, we lived, for the most part, when you come to New York, I mean
Mm-hmm.
to the United States, you go to New York. So we lived in New York for a little bit. We moved from Brooklyn to Staten Island, where I went to high school, went to college, and then proceeded to went to Howard University, School of Dentistry. After Howard, I decided to go into the military. So I joined the Navy back in the 90s. Had some great duty station. Had some. I have to say overall, I had a very fruitful career. Yeah, I was very fortunate to have a powerful God. I had a prayerful mom. I had a supportive family, brothers and sisters, my children, my husband, and for most, I had outstanding mentors. In I think that's very important, key in the military. Having others that watches over you. As I say, when you bring a child into this world, it's a village. I had a village that guided me, helped me, and for that I was very thankful. And I always wanted to give back, and that's the reason why I try to mentor younger sailors to ensure that they had the opportunity that I had, because somebody helped me, somebody paved the way for me to where I am. So I needed to give back.
And
So
tell us that story. How a young girl from Haiti to New York, and then from New York to the United States Navy, and from there to one of the highest rank in the United States Navy.
I didn't make the admiral yet. So
Well,
yeah, I
one.
didn't
I
make
said
it.
one of.
Well, let's see. Growing up, I mean, you at the time that I came through and went to college and did all that, it really wasn't a good time to wanted to go to the Navy, because that's when you started having the different wars. It's like, well, if you join, they may send you out to fight, et cetera, et cetera. So maybe I was a little bit apprehensive about that, but no, I wanted to join. I wanted to do something. I felt like the United States had given me something. I wanted to give something back, and that's why I decided after. I wish I had done it before. I wish I had went into the military, and then I always said I did it the expensive way, because I went to dental school, achieved my education, and then and I came in as a lieutenant. So, which to me at the time, I didn't realize that it was just a big deal.
Yeah.
Wow, a lieutenant. Everybody looked up
It
to you.
is.
It's like, wow. So it wasn't, would I say back when I was thinking about what I wanted to do? I know I always wanted to be in the health field, but did I know that I wanted to join the military? No, I didn't know that. But I wanted to always help people, and putting the two together, being in the health field and also joining the military, I felt that way I could achieve that goal. So my first duty station was in Staten Island, New York. I wanted to just kind of stay close to home because the family was in Staten Island.
Hmm.
And so I said, you know what, I'm going to go in, I'm going to join for 3, just get the experience and see how it is. And 26 years later, I realized was having so much fun. And then I couldn't get out. Unfortunately, I had to leave. And you and I had talked about that
Hmm.
early. Due to circumstances, I had to retire a little early because I had some trials. We
Hmm.
all have. The good thing about it, and I'm glad we mentioned resilience. You're going to have trials. You're going to have tribulation in life, but it's just how you handle them, how you bounce back from that. Is the important thing.
And
And having the support of family, having always, the first person I always go rely to is God. By having that, having mom, that family that prays for you, and have a supporting family, you are able to bounce back and move on. It's just not. You must have dream. You must have visions. You have to persevere in life. You can't. Somebody's always going to tell you. You may have millions and millions of ideas, but someone is always going to try to keep you down and say, "Oh, you can't do that." But you have to know. You have to have it in your heart to know this is what I want to do, and you have to believe in yourself.
Captain, what was some challenges you encounter during your time? Because what year did you join the Navy?
Now, you really want me to tell my no my age? I joined back in 1990.
Okay.
Um, and it at the time it was just a job, but it was great because I was able to stay in New York. I was able to stay in Staten Island, and actually that's where I had my first child. So it was good for me. It was a
Hmm.
good life, you know. And I've always been fortunate that all my duty station or whatever I asked the detailer for, I was able to we know being in the military that they're going to send you when they need you.
Of
You
course.
have to be able to again bounce back. I said, okay, I don't want to go there, but I have to do what I have to do to to make this work. I have to do this for my family. Unfortunately, uh, being away from the family, I was deployed. I was on the ship for USS Enterprise, and I was away from my family when I felt like the kids needed me, but I had the support of my husband who took care of them. Being while I was in also being a African American female, it really wasn't easy making rank. So I had several. I had to try for, especially captain, commander. Probably was a little. Let me see, lieutenant commander. It was a little easy. Commander, I think I got passed over a couple of times, but captain was definitely a difficult roadblock for me because I actually went up probably 4 times before I made captain. And it was something as simple as one person had this course and I didn't have it. But there's other barriers that you have to go through being in the military. We all know they exist.
Yeah.
So, and I had one of my mentors was actually, she was ended up being an admiral. She said, "That's what I really marvel at you, that you didn't give up. That every year you were ready to. I mean, you went on a ship. As I specialized. I became a periodontist.
Yeah.
It's unheard of for a periodontist to go on a ship, to go on a carrier." So she said that spoke volume. You didn't give up. It happened. You kind of dust yourself up, and you said, what? I got to move on. And she said, I read your letters over and over. They are very humbling.
Hmm.
And that's what you don't lose. Don't let someone tell you you can't do what you want to do, because you are going to have this trial. So having been passed over several times, I could have very easily said, you know what, I'm done. I mean, I
Hmm.
had my 20 years. I'm done. I don't need to. I don't need this anymore. But if that's what you want, that's what your goal is. And you know, how many time I get stopped by a younger African American female who basically in awe when they see me as a captain, and they're not used to seeing that. And I really felt like I was doing it not just for myself, for the upcoming, the one that are there that have a dream, and they realize, you know what, I she did it. I mean, I could do it too.
Exactly, exactly, and it wasn't easy. And like you mentioned, I'm sure it was tough because, you know, people don't understand what we go through. People think, yeah, it's whatever. Thank you for your service and move on. But nobody really understand the trouble, the tribulation, the pain, the aches. So I'm sure it was very hard. But you figure out a way to deal with it, you know, and that's what we wanted to address today. How do you, what help you find the necessary qualities to deal with those adversities?
Well, first, foremost, like I said, prayer. Prayer has always been my first answer, and the fact that by praying, God had put people in my life who actually took it upon themselves and said, "Look, Corinne, we are going to sit here and we're going to figure out what you need to do to to make captain. What you need to do, what classes, what are you missing?" I mean, I had several mentors. And I don't want to name them because I probably
Yeah.
would forget somebody that actually took the time and said, you know what, bring me your fitness report. Let's sit down. Let's look at it. Let's see what you're missing. And most of them were senior officers that took the time to look at my credential to see what is it that what were you missing. As I said stated earlier, I mean, I as a paradontist, I went on the ship. And again, I was ranked pretty high among some of the officers on the ship. I mean, these were in the carrier, and my CO felt he put me as high as could be, and I still didn't make captain out of that.
Wow, it's
So
tough.
yeah, that was tough. It
That's
was
a
a
tough
hard
one.
pill to swallow. You know, you go on a ship where we did back to back deployment. You leave your family behind because you were trying to do what you needed to do, but it still didn't come through. But again, I had great mentors, outstanding mentors that sat me on the side and let's figure this out. Let's work it out.
You know,
And
as you're getting used to this, so you're getting used to this to the active duty life, and all of a sudden you have to be a civilian and you have to retire, and you know changing environment from one thing to another, and you retired before me. So when we were talking back then, it was kind of hard to advise you because I was still in, you know. So it was kind of hard to understand what you were going through until when I retired myself. So
Mhm.
how did you because your retirement was a little bit different because yours happened all of a sudden. I had the chance to kind of plan mine. So how do you manage it? How did you manage it? Because I'm sure right now there's somebody somewhere probably going through the same thing where we're enjoying this life, we're doing good, we're the best of what we do, we know what we do very well, and we're very good at it. And all of a sudden, now something happened, and you're like, okay, you need to transition from what you know to the unknown. How did you manage that?
Well, that was the trial that I had. My faith really got me through that. Like I said, I was a periodontist. I really enjoyed what I was doing. I enjoyed the procedures and all that. And I had a major setback. I had an illness, which I had to retire. It was kind of like an eye opener. Wow. Here I go one day, then everything's all well, and now all of a sudden I have this that I have to deal with. I call it a blessing. Some people uh, don't see it that way. I said, how could you call that a blessing, what you went through?
Hmm.
Um, but again, they were where my faith came into it. God was telling me, hey, it was time to end one life, but then end one part of my career and then move on to something else. And I felt like I was a conduit to speak to other people from what I was not, yeah, I enjoy what I was doing, but it was also stressful. And you hear this, all the stress will kill you and that kind of stuff.
Of
So
course.
I felt this was my way that I needed to spread the news of the word that, hey, you need to do this and you have to follow this to make it work for you and not give, you want to give 100% to what you're doing, but also you want to take care of yourself. And even though I felt like I was doing all the stuff I needed to do, I was in the perfect time of my life and was going to do 30 years. I enjoy what I was doing. I had a smaller department from what I used to, so it was a major setback. It was mentally, it was exhausting. So again, that goes where my faith came into and kind of helped me. It was just kind of like a break. God felt like, hey, you needed to stop what you're doing right now. You needed a break, and I had some trauma going through that because
Hmm.
there was no one to. I don't know if on the chief side of the house. Actually, a friend of mine told me it's a little bit easier because the chief side of the house, you guys sort of have like a community kind of help each other out. But on the
Yes,
opposite
we
side
do
of the
have a
house,
great community.
yes, we didn't have. I didn't have that. We didn't. I didn't know where to go. I was getting advice from so many different people. They wanted to separate me as a med board. They were just not only that now I have to get out, but not really knowing what I needed to do. So
Hmm.
again, some people did come in and intervene and kind of help me and guide me where I needed to go to make this transition. And trying to deal with it was a lot. It was a lot to deal with the retirement, dealing with what are you going to do with the VA, am I going to do afterwards. I was always, I could never sit down for long. I'm always busy. I was always moving around. Now all of a sudden, now I have this I want to say this thing that kind of slowing me down, and I didn't know how to handle that. So it took me a little bit of time to get myself back. It was definitely a mentally it was definitely stressful, and that's when you tell yourself, well, you know what, I need to talk to someone, and
Yeah.
it doesn't matter how strong you are. You have to recognize that you need help, and there's people out there to help you. There's always somebody out there to help you. You just
I'm
have to
glad.
reach
I'm
out.
glad you mentioned that. I'm glad you mentioned that because, being resilient, it doesn't mean that you're not gonna go through difficult stuff, right? It's not that or trauma. It's basically that being able to find an outlet, being able
Mhm.
to reach out and ask for help, being able to connect with family members, friends, positive people who can help you fight, those situations, so you don't have to go at it, alone.
On
And I
your
think I think that's exactly what you did.
Yeah. You need to have, and that's a good thing you just said, you need to have positive people around you. You need to surround yourself with positive people.
Yeah.
Um, Having a good attitude, it really helps. Having a good heart. I know sometimes in this world, especially now we seeing what we're going through with
Hmm.
COVID. You got to stay positive. Got to surround yourself with positive
Yeah.
people.
And
Just
it's so many
negative.
distractions, out there right now. And the big thing is when we're talking about positive people, if somebody is in your entourage or somebody is around you making you feel like crap, basically, you don't have to be there.
Exactly.
You know what
You
I'm
have a
saying?
choice. You
Yeah,
have a
you got
choice.
a choice. And being resilient sometimes is to remove yourself from those negative environment and position yourself to around the people who value you, the people
Mm-hmm.
who care
Yeah.
about you, the people who's there to help you, navigate life in a positive way. And I'm glad you mentioned it because you were able to have, a great family around you to rally around you and say, hey, you can do this, let's move forward, you got this, but there's people who doesn't have that,
Family. Yeah.
so how, in your opinion, what advice would you have for somebody who doesn't have that? What can they do to overcome that?
Well, that's where the people who does not have the family have to reach out, because you don't know what they're going through. But also, it's it's our job also to look outside of our environment, look at the people who are not who doesn't have a friend, who doesn't have a family.
Exactly.
Um, like you may have some sailors who doesn't have a place to go for Thanksgiving.
Hmm.
So it is your job to kind of look out for these and invite them over. But
Exactly.
it's a two-way street. So you both got to do it. You have to look out for them, and they also have to be able to reach out. And sometimes it's hard. It's not easy. It's hard.
Yeah, and we have to also remember sometimes pain, trauma, problems can force people to isolate themselves, right?
Hmm.
I mean, they just, it's not their fault. They just can't, at that moment, they just can't deal with it. And there's no space in the brain to allow them to see clearly. So they tend to isolate themselves. So now, has positive personal self or has family members, we have to figure out a way to identify those individuals and reach out to them, like you say, and connect with them and see what kind of help we can provide. Because, like, I'm gonna give you an example. For me, when I'm thinking about something, when I'm upset or whatever, I don't want to talk. I just remove myself. So I used to say, this is how I deal with it, right? Because I said, "Right, this is why I deal with it." But I realize more you isolate yourself, longer you stay on that darkness, right?
Yes,
you know
exactly.
and
Exactly.
compared to, if you have somebody that you can talk to and express yourself, and it started to be easier, right? Because you're able to let it out, so it started to be
Exactly.
easier. And I'm taking note, Captain. I mean, one of the things you mentioned is about relationships. So basically prioritizing your relationship, put yourself in an area where you have people who are positive, where you have good family members. Pray and reach out to God, reach out to great friends, reach out to professional. Now, the other question, uh, one thing I should mention, we should also try to be involved in some great group, like church group,
Hmm.
ministry group, youth group, whatever you into, put yourself in that environment.
But I was just thinking, what other thing you could do. But look at this is exactly what you're doing right now. Having the podcast that where you trying to involve others that
Exactly.
do not have a family that needs help.
Exactly. You know, it's funny you say that, and maybe this podcast is my outlet, because when I got out, right, and I started my business and my small business, and I thought I know a lot of stuff, but it was overwhelming, right? It's so much information, and it's difficult to
Mhm.
find the information. When you find the information, it's basically it's an information of the information to find the information, right?
Yeah, and there's somebody out there that already been through what you went through.
Exactly.
So being able
So
to have that and to refer and someone to go to help you, so you don't have to go to the same roadblock that they went through. They actually
exactly.
went through that.
And that's why we create this platform, and we share with anybody, any veterans who have whatever, a business, a small business, or whatever. Come here, tell us your journey. Maybe there's something we're missing, you know.
Mm.
And as I do this more and more and more, I find people reaching out and say, hey, you had so and so in your podcast to talk about this, do you have the number? And I find myself sharing information, sharing numbers with people. And I think, I think that's valuable. I think it's very valuable, and I
It's
think
very,
more people should do this, you know. And that's why you here, Captain, and to share with us uh those type of ideas. And there was something you used to mention to me. What was that? It was they used to do it at Maple. I guess it was mindfulness.
oh yes,
You
meditation, mindfulness.
Yes. So
Yes.
talk to us about that.
Well, let's see. They have so many nowadays. It has becoming so popular. Even the place that I'm working now, they
Mm-hmm.
actually give you time, whether it's what 5, 10 minutes, to be able to. It's a way of decompose. It's a way of because we all deal with daily stress. Some of them are positive, and some of them negative, and some of them just kind of weight you down. Mindfulness is being aware of yourself, of being aware of your surrounding, being aware of what's going on within you. And if you have that negative energy, it dissipates, it goes away.
Hmm.
Using that mindfulness has so many different aspects to it. There's a breathing aspect to it. You learn how to breathe. You learn how to be aware of your surroundings. You're aware of your physically and mentally, and it's just a way of rejuvenating. It's kind of like I say, like getting a massage and it's starting new. So I think that's something we all should practice on a daily basis. It just we all are always running, always ready to go. But if you take 5 or 10 minutes out of your daily busyness and just stop, breathe, stop thinking of and think of good thing. If you just kind of sit in your desk and just or wherever in the couch, you just kind of let it go, just relax from head to toes, and just kind of relax the muscles. You giving your brain some more power to think, giving it more oxygen, and I, I love it, but I don't do it as much as I should. And I think that's something we all need to do because we are always going 24/7. And even when even when you go to sleep, you thinking your mind never stop. We need to give that a break. We need to give it a rest, and that's what mindfulness really, really comes into it. And now there's so many different apps that you could use, and some of them are free, some of them that you have to pay for
Okay.
that really helps. My kids makes fun of me sometimes because I said, I go trying to go back to sleep and sometimes I can't. And I have this app that I listen to, and I actually listen to uh, um, um, old stories like
Mhm.
Pinocchio, Beauty and the Beast, and I'm like, what are you listening to? But it actually relaxes me and helps me just forget about all this other stuff that I'm thinking about that is not important.
you know, but how do you put it? I'm gonna give you an example. This is before here we go. The example before I ask the question.
Uh oh.
When I transitioned from active duty to retired, because my mind was working 24/7, and then now I'm retired, and you wake up the next morning, and basically you're free, right? There's nothing to do, right? So, but it took me a long time to tell that mind to stop thinking that way. Okay, so with mindfulness, will is that something will help somebody to basically calm themselves down? Because
Yes.
when you in a high tempo environment for so long, I mean 20 something years, and now all of a sudden
You have to slow down.
everything,
Yeah.
I'm not even saying slow, everything stop, right? So, and even if you go and get a high performance job, it's not the same. Trust me, it is not the same because I
Yeah.
tried that.
Yeah.
Okay, you're trying to stay busy, you're trying to stay active, you're trying to stay as busy as you can, but it's not the same thing. then you become that guy who's always doing something at work, right? I was always trying to just find something to do. So how will mindfulness help somebody to calm that mind down, to help them transition from that high tempo environment to a more relaxed environment?
I think so. I think so because it is a mind controlling. Because like you said, you've been doing it for so long. You have programmed your mind to think that way. Okay, I got to get up. I be at work at 6. Got to do this. Bang, bang, bang. You got to go to the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
You program your mind. Now you have to deprogram. It's kind of like a computer. Deprogram your mind to slow down. And it's easy said than done, but it's something that if you practice on a daily basis, you'll get to that end point where you are not feeling like I have to move, I have to do this, I have to go. You're on a time, you know. I don't know military that did this to me. Where I'm so punctual. I have everything got to be on time. I had to do this, and I realized that it doesn't have to be like that all the time. Not I have to be at quarters at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's a little different. Now you could relax, you could let it up. Just kind of like you said when you retired, you're done. Let your sailor to take over. They're gonna take over. They're gonna watch. They got the watch. You done with your watch. You did your watch. Now you just need to get your mind. You have to reprogram it. It is not an easy thing. You have to reprogram yourself to do things different.
Yeah. Captain, with the pandemic, people realize that I remember when in the middle of the pandemic, when everything slowed down, people realize how important it is to take care of themselves, right?
Hmm.
And I
And
think,
family.
yeah, take care of themselves, take care of them family, make the family first, make
Hmm.
themselves first, you know. And I think part of resilience, if you want to take a portion of it, is being proactive. So many times we're just reacting to things that happen to us.
Hmm. Hmm.
But
Yes.
if we are like more proactive and try to think what's going to happen and try to come up with a solution and tell us that even if we cannot come with a solution, it's okay.
Hmm.
Because problems gonna happen, mistakes are going to be made, you know,
Yes.
and it's just a way to learn. So what is your opinion on being proactive, on taking action before things happen? And the reason I asked this question, here we are, we're telling people, okay, practice mindfulness, make sure you breathe, make sure you stay calm and stuff. But at the same time, you have to be proactive to know, okay, what your next move is going to be. So how do
You
you
do.
balance that?
You still have to. You still, even though you are telling your mind just kind of slow down, but you still have to plan. You just can't live day by day. And then when you finally react, then it becomes on the spur of the moment. When you make decision when you really haven't thought about it, yeah, you live to regret it.
Hmm.
So just because you are getting I think they work together, being proactive and because and kind of quieten your mind. That helps you plan better if you're in a better mindset. But if you are reacting to an event, you tend not to make the correct decision. So if
True.
you are in a good setting, then you're able to plan ahead. Okay, this is what's going to happen. Say, hey, I'm not going to be able to go to the store, do whatever. You had planned already because you already have this stuff at home that you don't even have to go. Because by having that calmness allows you to plan better
Hmm.
and not have to react. And when you react, hey, who knows what's going to come out?
Hmm. What about setting goals, right?
Always important to do that.
you know,
And,
because
and, and have a backup just because that goal doesn't work.
hmm,
And you can't give up.
true.
Oh, very, very important to set goals and planning.
And one thing I remember we used to have conversation on the hallway when we were at dental, and you say always look for opportunities. Always look for opportunities. I mean, can you dissect this for me? because I always wanted to say, okay, Captain, what do you mean always look for opportunities? I am the opportunity. I'm always looking for opportunity. So
Always something out there, someone that you wouldn't even think of, that have opportunities, has plan that will help you. So never, sometimes it's like, oh, I'm older and I know this and others, and then I don't have time to listen to a younger person that may have ideas, but you feel like, okay, I'm a seasoned chief, so why am I going to listen to uh, an H1 probably
mhm.
that has some ideas. And sometimes, like I said, the opportunity is there in front of you, and you have ideas in your mind. You just so set on you focusing on that idea, but not looking all the way around what's gonna may help you resolve, come up with your ideas that may make your idea more successful. So we just can't be so close-minded that you don't welcome other people into your life who kind of help you. And as you were mentioned before, I think you said you're trying to do something and you had to go through the roadblock, and the opportunity may be there for you that someone actually been down that road, but you didn't seek that person out. You didn't look. You just kind of just focusing on your idea, not looking around you that other people may have been there who have done this. And that's what I'm talking about. Having opportunities to kind of make your life or anybody else's life around you a little bit easier, because it's there. We just sometimes we're not looking
True.
until they
True.
come right smack in your face and hit you. Wow, why didn't I think? Why didn't I listen?
I know, right? Why didn't I listen? That's one of the things I think everybody say all the time, you know. And the other part, too, we have to be willing to accept changes because things going to change every day, every second. Things are going to change. That's one thing I don't think we don't control that.
No,
We do not know what's the next second's going to be, what's the next minute's going to be, what's the next day going to be. You can plan, but like
you have to
every
be
good
flexible.
plan is good
Yeah,
until the war start.
exactly. You have to be flexible. You have to be
Mhm.
flexible. And
Yeah.
you just got to live for today, and don't bring the troubles from yesterday or the next day
Hmm.
into today.
Yeah, because
And
you can
again,
do anything
having
about yesterday. You
what?
know, yesterday is done. Let's learn from
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Yeah, you can't cry over the mistake that you made. You just have to learn from it and just move on. And to me, that makes you into a better person and a better human being, a better father, a better brother, sister, husband, etc.
you know, and one thing you mentioned earlier is seeking help. Please seek help, seek professional help. There's nothing
Yes,
wrong with that. Okay.
yeah,
If anything, make you a better person, a stronger person. Okay.
yes,
So,
yes,
so very important. Please seek help, professional help, because we all need it. Every,
yes.
even those in business or CEOs who are millionaires, billionaires, trust me, they all seek
They,
help. They
yes,
all seek professional help because
yes.
higher you are
The
on that
more
ladder,
stress,
yeah,
yeah, there's a lot more that you have to deal with.
a lot more you
Yeah.
have to deal with, a lot more stress that you have.
hmm
Okay, so if they're able to look and hire professional help and seek professional help, I mean everyone should be able to do the same thing. And
And
it's sometimes one of the thing I think a lot of us don't take to consideration, or maybe the stigma associated with seeking help, that I think in this country we need to do a better help on on erasing that stigma, make it's normal, it's okay to seek help, because that not only gonna help the veterans community, but that help everybody in general.
Yeah. Well, because always people feels like, as a leader, I can't let people see my weakness.
Hmm.
I can't let my hair down. I have to be this way. I have to be that way. But you also, at the end of the day, you are a human being, and the body can only handle so much.
And
And
that's true.
seeking help. And I know one of the things that felt very dear to me this week is this young lady that again didn't this whole thing happened with her, and I follow her on TV, and I find it very hard that that we are that mental disease is so prevalent in our society, and it is not, we're not taking care of it as we should, because
Yeah.
it's there. Yeah.
And it's unfortunate to go through that. It's unfortunate to to watch people suffer, suffer, and and we can say, if
Yeah.
whatever we
And like
want to say, but if you seek help, it would have been so much better.
and like you said, there's a stigma. There's a stigma to it. Yeah. Because when you're resilient, people that are resilient becomes when you go through difficulties, you come out stronger in the end, at the other end.
True, true, very true. Captain, I took a lot of your time this afternoon, and I know you're
Yeah.
busy, but I
Oh my goodness.
wanted, I wanted to just basically do an overview because as you were talking, I tried to take some notes over here, and I think your idea, your knowledge, the way you share it with us, and I mean, I don't know, I'm grateful that you came in to do that. So you mentioned part of being resilient is to create an environment where you have positive people around you, that you practice mindfulness, where you're able to calm the mind down. You create plans, you work towards your future, and do not rely so much of the past, because what happened in the past, learn from it and move forward. Am I missing anything else?
No, I think you did a really good job taking really good notes.
Yeah, I have to, because I told you, I told you I'm going to pick your brain and trying to know what's going on, because it's when you have a podcast and you sharing those type of information, and it's very helpful to people, but it's also self healing, right? It's helpful to yourself too, because some of the
Yes.
stuff you mentioned about, I thought I was resilient, I thought I was tough, but there's a couple point that you mentioned that I'm like, man, I better look around, what I'm saying? So that's,
It's
I appreciate that,
it's a
and
process of learning, and we are learning all the time. It's If you're not learning, you're staying stagnant. So you have to keep learning every
exactly,
day. Something new.
exactly. And the other day I was talking to a young man that I know, and he was complaining about a lot of stuff, and I was asking him, who's in your network? I mean, if you find yourself in an environment that the people who's around you can't even give you advice, maybe
Need to find other.
yeah, it's time to change. It's time to change that environment, and I'm trying. I always try to stay optimistic, right? I want to keep a great attitude, because I I I don't want things to bother me so much. But there's an age you reach to, you learn those things, like time is
Mhm.
valuable, positivity is valuable, so you don't spend too much time with negative folks, or trying to do the things that you used to do when you were in your 20s, so you're trying to surround yourself with good people. And part of being resilient, it's to know, no matter what you do, things going to happen, bad things
Yes.
happen to good people.
It's how
Okay.
you handle.
And it's how, here we go. It's how you handle it, how you
Hmm.
deal with the situation afterwards. You know, and even in the Bible, there's a verse in the Bible, right? Give me the courage. What is it? I can't remember.
Be strong and courageous.
No, it was give me the strength to accept what I cannot accept, or the
Oh,
courage, yeah,
yeah,
something
the
like that.
serenity prayer. Yes.
Don't laugh at me now. You're gonna say, when the last time you read your Bible? So even there, it's telling you, how to deal with yourself and how to be resilient. And I appreciate that you take this afternoon and come and talk to us. And I need to mention again, Captain is Haitian American, born, raised in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, moved to New York, and then from there joined the United States Navy. Captain, you had a hell of a ride. I mean, I know you're very humble, but we don't have that many captains that are Haitian American.
Yes, I don't know if there's any other.
I don't. I,
I don't think so
I
either.
don't think so. I mean, if anybody know any other one, please
I
let
mean,
me know.
I know other very rare other African American captains, but
Yes,
not Haitian.
not Haitian American.
No.
And the reason I asked that, to be specific, I think when it comes to us, who's keeping her stories? Who's telling the stories? Here, I
We
am
get
here talking to possibly the only Haitian American captain in the United States Navy. You know,
we have
so
to look.
we have to look it up. But
Yeah,
until
definitely in
somebody
the
say
I know
otherwise,
definitely in the dental corps, I don't think that there's any other Haitian captain. But that is a good thing. I could do some homework. We got to look it up because
yeah,
you have me interested, really. Because unfortunately, there is so many Haitian in the military
of course,
that have contributed so much to this country that we don't know about it, and we're not televised. You hear other culture,
hmm
but the Haitian, we don't hear that. There's not a
exactly,
lot of, yeah.
and that's a
And I'm so
tremendous
glad you are
accomplishment.
doing this. I'm
Yes,
so
it's a
glad you're doing this.
tremendous accomplishment, and you paved the way for so many of us, to follow. And right now, if I was a young officer with my background being Haitian American, that's the person to reach out to and say, "How did you do it?" How did you do it? How did you manage to go from lieutenant all the way up? There is a roadmap already.
Yeah, yeah. I actually have a daughter that's following me, so I am.
Really? Which one? You
Yeah,
have two, right?
I have two. My younger one, she's second year in dental school, and
Nice.
she's also an ensign in the United States Navy.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. Soon to be the second Captain Cureton. she got big. She got big shoes to fill.
Nah.
But yeah, I think it's very important, and the reason why I say that, because I want people to know that the Haitian American community contribute as well to this country.
Mhm.
It's not what you see on TV all the time.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
there's many of us doing great work, outstanding work. Okay, and but we are also very humble people, and we just keep it to ourselves. I'm
So,
li-
yeah.
you know, I'm a little bit different, so I'm gonna tell the world.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell the world. So,
Somebody has to do it.
uh,
Somebody has to do it.
exactly. So I'm gonna tell the world. And Captain, thank you very much for your service. Thank you for everything you've done for this country. Thank you for always staying positive. Thank you for mentoring so many of us. And I know you couldn't have it any other ways. And I'm gonna give you the last word, and you can share with the audience. I'm gonna put you on the big screen, and you have the time.
Well, no, actually, I just have one. What has as I was going through this, I had one thing I want to say. Is just it's very simple. Unless you stand for something, you'll fall for anything. You have to stay strong. You got to stand. I'm saying again, unless you stand for something, you got to stand for something. You got to stand up for something. You'll fall for anything. You want to follow some positiveness. Just keep some positiveness in your life. And above all, I just want to thank God for this day. Thank you for having you to come and asking me to share this platform with you. And it wouldn't happen unless God wanted it to happen. And for that, I say thank you, Lord, and thank you.
Thank you, Captain. I appreciate it. And I think that's a very strong prayer. I appreciate it. Thank you for helping me, And thank you
You
for
got
always pushing me and say, hey, you got this. Go. Make sure you do that. Until this day, I still receive them texts and say, Chief, what's going on? I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Well, we want to say thank you to the folks who are under the live. I know a lot of people sometimes don't watch lives. They watch it, but they're in the background. My graphics can tell me what's going on and what's what. So I'm thanking you as well. I'm thanking everybody who come up and provide some comments and some words of encouragement. I'm thanking your family who was under the live as well, who's sharing this with all of us. I thank them to allow you to have the time to come here and speak with me and create a podcast and put the podcast to the world. You're a very, very private person, but you afford me the time to do that and take your words and put it in a podcast and distribute it throughout the world. So thank you, Captain. Thank you very much. We're gonna give you guys the next show is in 2 weeks. We used to do the shows every Wednesday, but it's take an army to create a show, like this. So we reduce it to twice a month, and we have a great guest coming 2 weeks from now to talk to you guys about LinkedIn, the importance of networking, the importance of getting in contact with people that you're trying to reach the same goal that they already reach. So it should be a great show. When I have the dates, I will put it public on a Vet Talk show, and that show will be good for anyone who's trying to create a LinkedIn profile, who's trying to be in a position where they can networking with the people they want to network with. Don't forget, all of the CEOs in the United States are in LinkedIn. All of your hiring managers are in LinkedIn. All of your small businesses, where the majority of them, the one who know exactly what they need, are in LinkedIn. So this is a great way to network, but sometimes we don't know how to do it. So that's why I'm bringing a guest to the show to help us navigate that environment. Other than that, everyone, thank you. Captain, wait for me in the green room as we say goodbye to everybody. All right, everyone. Good night. Thank you for
Good
watching.
night.